Hello, you're watching a special collaboration video on AvenueX between my channel and Watching Sundays. They are a channel hosted by two guys. They mostly review Asian dramas that would also include Chinese dramas, and they've reached out to me about this collaboration idea, which I think is really cool. So in this video, I would ask them questions related to Chinese dramas. I'll leave the link to their channel in the description box and link to a video in which I answered their questions regarding Chinese dramas. I think what they're doing is really cool. They definitely deserve more subscribers than what they have right now.
Hello, we're Watching Sundays. My name is Flip.
I'm Element. Roses are red. The cutest animals are llamas. We are Watching Sundays, and we review Chinese dramas.
So here are some of my questions. First, I noticed that their channel initially did reviews on mostly Western dramas such as Game of Thrones, but then it switched to Asian dramas, and I wonder what's the reason behind that.
I think the largest contributing factor to us switching to Chinese dramas was the renaissance on Netflix. I mean, I think it was during a lull in our shows that we were covering at that point, and Netflix was just, releasing drama after drama, whether it was Korean drama or Chinese drama, and we just, we happened to click on The Untamed, and we watched The Untamed, and it just brought us back. It brought us back to our childhood. It brought us back to watching Wong Fei-hung, The Man Called Hero, Storm Riders, all of those great kung fu movies and fantasy movies that we watched as kids. It brought us back, and so we decided we should definitely start doing this more and watching more and seeing where these shows have come after all this time.
And to be honest, we started our channel not really knowing what we wanted to do. Yeah, absolutely. But when we first started our channel, we were curious about YouTube, and so we didn't have much direction until we, suddenly fell back in love with what we experienced in our childhood, and that's the old kung fu movies. And so that's why we decided to switch to covering Asian dramas.
I can totally relate to the feeling that you're not sure what you want to do when you start a YouTube channel. Honestly, when I started my channel, I thought there would only be 5 videos, and I would have covered all the topics I would ever want to talk about Chinese dramas, and that would be the end of it. It didn't quite happen that way, as you guys can see now. So if you're watching and you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel yourself, the best way of doing it is start it first. Then you can think about how to change things and move on and whatever. Things will fall into places in ways that you cannot imagine. I also asked the very goatee question about what's their favorite drama or actress and actors, which is a type of question I am not really happy to answer myself.
It's hard to choose a favorite drama, but I will have to say Evernight because it's probably the most impactful drama that I've watched, that I've wanted to just blaze through all of the episodes as soon as I watched it. And, maybe that might change as we continue to watch these Chinese dramas, but of course, Evernight is the favorite drama in my book.
Yeah, so far it's got to be between Evernight and Untamed for me. But the one actor or one actress that I really gravitate towards is Nini.
Really?
She is just so beautiful, so elegant, so effortless. Her charisma and her performance on screen is just, I can't find a better actor or actress that can do it the way she does. And so Nini is probably one of my favorite characters, and I'm looking forward to more of her projects coming soon.
We definitely have very different taste and preference in dramas. Evernight is not my favorite. I did talk extensively about that in my answering to their questions video on their channel, so please go and check out if you're interested. It is really cool to have people who have totally different perspectives, but we do agree on the fact that Nini is a brilliant actress. Dubbing is a huge thing for me, and dubbing is also a huge problem for me, as most of my audience know, so I asked Element about that, because he's an expert in sound and in voice acting. It's one of his hobbies, doing dubbing, so definitely need to ask him about his opinions, and here is a very, very professional and interesting answer.
Element here is a hobbyist when it comes to voice acting.
So we've talked about this a lot, and I've pointed it out to Flip a lot when we were watching these Chinese dramas, and they do in fact overuse dubbing. Obviously, the best thing that can come out of dubbing is great sound quality, and oftentimes these shows with their audio have a lot of heavy gating going on. So we'll see some dialogue between two people, and when one talks, you can hear the background noise just coming in because it's being gated in between the dialogue. And so I guess the solution to that is to dub and just have that sound stage completely quiet. But of course, you get to those moments where the acoustics and the sound staging just doesn't match completely to what's being shown on the screen. So you'll have people in like maybe an arena setting or in the outside setting, and it just sounds like these people are in a sound booth. And yeah, the sound design and the sound staging will never match, and it will never look like actual dialogue being spoken in front of the camera. And at some point you will notice that the lip syncing will often fall off, and this isn't a thing that's just isolated to overdubbing in English. You know, my lips have been out of sync this entire time. And that's practically what it looks like. I mean, they could be saying the same thing. They could be speaking in the same language. They could be mouthing the same words, but the lips just doesn't match because they could be shouting, they could be emoting, and the performance in the dub just doesn't match.
Yeah, and I will add to that, I also kind of notice it because most of the time when I have my headphones on, you'll just notice the difference in sound, right? The difference of environment, the shift in the dialogue, and there's just more background noise and all of that. But for the most part, I'm focusing on what's happening on screen and trying to read the subtitles at the same time, so it kind of just doesn't happen like one-to-one interaction with me when it comes to dubbing, but I guess if you pay attention enough, you'll notice it.
I also think one of the things that I read about dubbing in these dramas is because a lot of it has to do with actors who have accents, and I think in like these dramas, I guess the Chinese audience is very heavily scrutinizing the characters who have like non-existent accents or just not like a traditional Shanghai or mainland Beijing accent. Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons they do it.
It's just cool. Like he actually showed us what it sounded like for a lot of people when you watch Chinese dramas. And I think for me, I add an extra layer of the problem, which is because I have no problem understanding the language, so I can very quickly pick out which voice dubbing actor dubbed particular roles. There are only that many in China, like 24 mostly, and their voices are all super familiar to me, so I immediately mix all the characters this dubber has dubbed previously together when I watch a drama, and it really does affect my enjoyment of the show. Then I asked Flip and Element what would make them want to watch a drama. What are the things they look for when they pick a drama?
I think in a contemporary setting such as this, the main thing that I look for in a Chinese drama right now is high fantasy, cultivation, and mythology.
Yeah, and for me, it's a good love story, really good action. The choreography makes everything to me. And, you know, the overall story, it has to be a really, really good story. It's compelling enough for you to want to continue to watch one episode after the next. But, you know, something like Evernight, something like Untamed, those are the type of shows that I really look forward to seeing.
I think that's our ideal show. Untamed with Evernight set pieces and epic grand scale battles and powers.
And it definitely needs to have good effects.
I definitely agree with their opinion about had Untamed gotten the amount of money and the type of just incredible production value Evernight had, it would be even better. Then I asked them what is the best Chinese drama for them so far in 2020.
I'm going to be really boring and say for 2020, Evernight Season 2.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that a little bit because I have just been watching a lot of dramas going from one show to the next, and I can't finish them. You know, like the 2020 has just been a little bit disappointing. Some of these shows had a lot of hype and a lot of media attention, and I've just been very disappointed. To be honest, 2019 had better shows for me to experience than the ones that have been out so far.
Now, we are only just halfway through 2020.
I hope it changes, but currently I am watching The Song of Glory, and that has really been good so far.
And the fact that they say 2020 is not as exciting as 2019, how interesting. I have actually a totally different opinion. I think 2020 has offered us more diversity of shows that are, for example, smaller length, smaller budget production, more topic, more different types of drama. And I actually have pretty much one favorite every month up to now, which totally didn't happen last year. So to me, I think 2020 has been a better year in Chinese dramaland than 2019. It certainly hasn't had an explosive one as the Untamed had, but I'm actually happier to see more smaller success happening more frequently than one big success just happening once or twice a year. But this totally could also be due to the fact that I watch too many dramas dramas. I probably watch much more Chinese dramas than they would have time to do. So I have a bigger pool of candidates to decide what are the good dramas of 2020. So that's the end of the video on my side, asking them questions and getting their answers. Please do go and check out the other half of the video where I answer their questions. And please go and check out their many review videos on their channel. They're doing a really brilliant job. They definitely deserve more subscribers.
Thanks to AvenueX for having us on her video and answering these questions. We had a blast answering these questions. These were really great questions. I said questions way too many times.
AvenueX, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you, Flip and Element, for reaching out to me. Good luck to the future endeavors of your channel, and I do hope for the second half of 2020 there will be a Chinese drama that will make you very excited. Thank you for watching AvenueX. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy drama watching.